Welcome guys to another Movie Matthew video. Today we're delving into The Wizard of Oz. If you're a huge fan of this movie, don't worry, I am too. I'm just telling you the facts and some theories about this film that are just a bit creepy, a bit dark, and I have to admit kind of put me off the movie slightly. But disclaimer, this movie is a masterpiece. It revolutionised cinema with their Technicolor system. It was amazing at the time, and even now I watch it, it blows my mind. The splash of colour when it explodes into Oz from Kansas. But yeah guys, we're just going to break this movie up a little bit and tell you some negative things about this film. But yeah, I do love it either way, so I'm just going to throw that out there before I get started. Her mum, who was called Ethel, and my god was she a bitch, let me tell you that. She used to give her and her other daughters, drugs to keep them awake and keep them performing. And this is just disgraceful, you know, forcing a kid to do things like this. And she also forced her to join MGM Studios, and fuck me, they were even worse. When Judy was actually auditioning for The Wizard of Oz, they flat out just said to her, you're too fat. You're too fat, you're not gonna, you know, you need to lose weight, basically. But they heard her sing and thought, right, we'll give her a go, we'll give her the role, because she had a beautiful voice, as you can tell if you've seen the film. And they thought, well, how are we going to put her down, make her look slimmer, which is just ridiculous to start off with. She was 16 at the time and they're forcing her to lose weight. It's mad. None of this would happen in this day and age. But they actually gave her a diet, right, of lots of black coffee, chicken soup, one bowl, and 80 cigarettes. Yeah, 80. That's 4 packs a day of cigarettes. 16, 4 packs of cigarettes a day, chicken soup and black coffee. That's all they gave her, which is just disgraceful. And they also made her wear prosthetic nose, because I thought her nose was too big, it needed to be slimmer. And they also made her wear a corset as tight as it can go to make her look slimmer in the film. So basically, it's just, they're taking the piss at this point. And they dyed her hair red. Fuck knows why, but they did that too. They did all these things just to change this 16-year-old girl's appearance for a movie. That no one would have given a shit if she maybe wasn't actually a perfectly ideally slim or had the perfect nose. But that's what it was like back then. It's incredible to think how strict they were on these young performers at the time. She actually had a friend who also worked with MGM, a very famous guy, Mickey Rooney he was called, and he signed up for MGM Studios around the same time as Judy, but he earned $5,000 a week opposed to Judy's $500 a week. Only difference is male and female. I'm so happy it's changed now and it's actually a lot more even, and companies are doing their very best to make it even. But back then it was just, again, taking the piss. How much of a difference that is, it's ridiculous. Judy was actually quoted saying this, and I'll read it out for you now. They had us working days and nights on end. They would give us pills to keep us on our feet long after we were exhausted. Then they would take us to the studio hospital and knock us out with sleeping pills. Mickey sprawled out on one bed and me out on another. After 4 hours, they would wake us up and give us pep pills again, so we could work 72 hours in a row. Half of the time we were hanging from the ceiling, but it was just a way of life for us. That's no way of life. Jesus Christ. A 40-year-old munchkin, bearing in mind Judy's 16 at this point, asked her out on a date, and she said, oh no, I don't think my mum would like that very much. To the munchkin responded, I shouldn't laugh because it's just ridiculous. Said, oh well, that's fine, bring her along too. 2 broads for the price of 1. She was also given a drug, I hope I can pronounce this right, barbiturates. I think that's how you pronounce it, barbiturates, right? And that was actually the drug that she ended up being addicted to and ended up overdosing on. So they started her off at this young age on this drug, and that's what she struggled with for the rest of her life, causing her death at 47, which is extremely sad. Overdosing on this drug they were forcing to give her back then to keep her awake and to keep her looking slim, you know. They obviously didn't realise how much it could affect someone in the long run. And 47's no age to die, and it's so sad because she was such a talented woman who's been broken down by the system. Toto the dog actually earned $125 a week, opposed to the Munchkins who earned $50 a week, which is pretty ridiculous, you know, when you compare the human beings to a dog. You know, it is pretty unfair. And also the Tin Man used that silver paint on his face and all over his body. That was actually extremely untested and it almost killed him. Okay, now we'll move on to things that are a little bit more theory based. So none of this is fact right now. Everything I said before is fact, but this is more theory, but they're very heavy theories that are believed to be true by many people. According to Judy's husband at the time and the hotel manager, the Munchkins were just fucking mental. The Munchkins were loud, they trashed the place, got drunk every night and had group sex a lot. They even actually pimped out, the male ones pimped out the women Munchkins to earn a bit of side money. I mean, these guys were just fucking nuts by the sounds of it, you know. They would also, as I mentioned earlier, molest Judy on set and lift up her skirt and laugh about it and joke about it, and gets to humiliate her and be very harsh, really. It was, yeah, they just seemed like absolute madmen, these people. Madmen. Guys, I'm going to show you a very creepy clip. Just pay attention to the back, the very back between the trees. There's something hanging in the background, and let me know in the comments below what you think it looks like, but I'm just going to play it for you now.
The wonderful Wizard of Oz, here he is, a wizard of a whiz, if ever a whiz there was. If ever a whiz there was, the Wizard of Oz is one because of the wonderful things he does.
Yeah, it looks like someone is hanging on a rope. Apparently this is actually a Munchkin who's hung themselves on set, and that's that Munchkin there in the background, which is just creepy, man. Why is that in the film? And like now, every single copy you'll ever watch it looks a lot more different to that. It's been edited to look more like a bird. And if it wasn't someone hanging, why did they edit it to look like a bird? Why would they actually change it, go out of the way to change it? Every copy you'll ever watch of Wizard of Oz now is completely different to that. They tried to make it out to look like a bird, and MGM Studios came out and said they've edited it. Why would they edit it? That's the big question for me, and I do believe this one. It's very creepy, and it's always, like I say, a theory, but I believe this one. I don't understand why they've edited it otherwise. The Wicked Witch of the West, played by Margaret Hamilton. She was actually one of the only people on the entire set who was actually nice to Judy and was respectful. And I mean, I'm going to show you a clip now of the Wicked Witch of the West when she vanishes and the smoke comes up. I'll just show you it now. So guys, the last part when the witch exits and the red smoke comes up and then the fire, what was supposed to happen was a trapdoor was supposed to open up underneath her and the fire was supposed to come up after. She was safely moved from the underground space. They did not time it right and the trapdoor didn't open in time, so she was almost burned alive on set and she had burns all over her. So the set had paedophile Munchkins and crew members. It had untested makeup that almost killed people and untested props that also almost killed people. So I mean, as revolutionary as the film was, were they really ready to make a film like this? That's the biggest question for me. MGM Studios really, in my opinion, fucked Judy over big time. Even when she got a bit older and she got pregnant with her husband, they actually forced her to have an abortion because they wanted to keep her good girl image intact. Which again, controlling her life, manipulating, being pricks. And that really wore her down, and Judy just had a terrible life, really, and it all stemmed from these bastards doing this to her. She was even quoted saying, I'll read it out to you now, I mean, I tried my damnedest to believe in that rainbow that I tried to get over, and I just couldn't. It's just so sad to hear such a talented woman go through this. But yeah, that's what's happened. But yeah guys, there are just a few things about this film that do creep me out a bit, and it is a bit eerie, and when I watch the film I can't help but think and try and relive those moments with the cast. And I can't imagine how hard it must have been for Judy at the time and other cast members. But back then again, it's just not the same as what it would be now. You could get away with a lot more, and you wouldn't be able to ever get away with it now, which is great. It's nice to see stuff like that, you know, and being so strict on people and being nasty like that, it's just not going to get you anywhere. But like I say, there's no need to hate on it because of this, or I guess dislike it because of this, because that was just what it was like back then. As bad as it is, that's what it was like back then. But guys, please let me know in the comments below what you thought about these, what I said, and I mean, how shocked you are, because I was shocked when I first read about all this, and I actually double checked to try and find out if it's true, because all of it was so mad. But guys, please let me know in the comments below if you enjoyed this video and what you think of The Wizard of Oz. And guys, like, comment, subscribe, do what you want. I've been Movie Matthew, and I'll definitely see you next week on my next video.